A good dinner of Shabbos this week's Parshas Vayichi. Parshas Vayichi, we have the Parsha of Yosef gathering his children on his deathbed and giving them one final message to each one of his children. There's, I want to point something out that I saw from Rav Druk, I think is a very important lesson that we could learn. There's a Rashi in Dvarim that tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu waited until the end of his life to give teichacha, to give rebuke to Klal Yisrael, and Rashi says because Moshe Rabbeinu learned a lesson from Yaakov, who didn't give Reuven any teichacha until he died, even though he wanted to rebuke his sons until all those years. He waited until right before his death. And Yaakov said, Rashi gives the example of Reuven. He says, Reuven, my son, I'm telling you why I didn't rebuke you all these years. It was so that you shouldn't leave me and go join Esav. Amazing thing. And Rashi adds that one of the reasons why a person should give rebuke only right before his death is so that the recipient of the reproof should not see him again and be embarrassed before him. Because a person gives someone teichacha, the person who received the teichacha will be embarrassed in front of that person. So Yaakov Avinu waited till all the way right before he died, and Moshe Rabbeinu did the same thing to Klal Yisrael. So this is an amazing thing. It's really, if you think about it, Rav Druk, it points us out that Yaakov didn't rebuke Reuven until the end of his life out of fear that Reuven would defect and join Esav and go in Esav's ways. How could Yaakov think that this might happen? Rav Druk says because that's how dangerous it is to embarrass a person. That's how dangerous embarrassment can be. A person can grow up with a particular lifestyle, go in the Derech Hashem, follow in the ways of Hashem, and then slam the door shut on everything that he knew because he was humiliated. It's very possible. I've seen it happen. I've seen things like this happen. We probably all have. A person who will yell at someone in shul because he's talking. To yell at someone, embarrass him in front of the whole shul, who do you think you are? It's a terrible thing. You absolutely cannot do that. You want to go over to a person quietly and tell them, maybe you shouldn't be talking. But to yell at someone in shul, tell them to stop talking, it's a terrible thing. You mvayish the person barabim. What do you think you're accomplishing? A person that does that has to have big shoulders, because that's a big responsibility. A person could get turned off from davening for his whole life if you do something like that. That's just an example. It could be in anything. It's a big responsibility. There's a big danger in humiliating people because it could really turn them off from things. And this is the lesson that we learned from Moshe Rabbeinu, and this is the lesson that Moshe Rabbeinu learned from Yaakov Avinu, not to embarrass someone. And if you're going to give someone teichacha, if you're going to give them musar, make sure you really know what you're doing, and make sure you're really ready to bear that responsibility. Have a wonderful Shabbos.